And welcome to the show, Liquid Lunch, coming at you live. It's Thursday, July 19th. It's a little bit cooler today after yesterday. Was yesterday the hottest day of the year?
Wasn't it the day before?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
But anyway.
But you know what?
What?
Guess what today is?
I don't know.
It's a new moon day.
Oh, yeah. What does that mean?
Today is a new moon. Today, okay, so that means, if you go to certain websites, you can go to a website, for example, Jan Spiller, janspiller.com, and on the front page, it'll talk about the new moon, it talks about the times, and it talks about the best time to make a wish. So have a wish list of 10 wishes, and you write them down on a piece of paper, and there's times that it's more valuable. You don't want to write them down at certain times because the energy is not there. So what a new moon signifies is a new start. So it's a great opportunity to write down your wishes, and then when the full moon happens about 14 days later, okay, then you can look at that wish list and see how it's,
Sounds new agey.
It's when the energy is working in your favor. It's actually more powerful. You can do wish lists anytime, but it's actually the energies are actually working. They're in alignment. They're stronger and they're more powerful.
I know. I'm just joking. Well,
I know.
But it does sound new agey.
It
but
is.
Here, you know, although it sounds like a little, you know, for people that are very rational, right? Like bankers, you know.
Well, okay, rational or not, on full moons, emergency hospitals are fuller.
Oh, I know.
And they know that.
Oh, that's right. That's a good example.
Science.
Plus, I want to say this, is that even farming, it's been proven that if you plant according to moon cycles, that you have better, if
harvest.
you do it at the right time, you're going to have the plant has a better chance of succeeding.
Isn't that amazing? See, so it really is about the rhythm and the cycle. And you know, Reagan never did anything significant, never made a move without talking to his astrologer.
Yep.
Did you know that?
I've
and of
heard
course
of
his
that.
wife,
Well,
Nancy,
Nancy
was the boss.
It was her, yeah.
Well, Nancy,
Ronald lives.
should
he
we start
lives.
to bomb now? When is the right time to start bombing?
Let's consult with our astrologer first.
Okay, so speaking of which, let's see now. Astrology. So, okay, where are we now? It's like July the 19th. We're
That's
like
my birthday.
2012 is almost over. Today's your birthday?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
That's what you were trying to say.
Yes.
Well, happy birthday.
Today's my birthday. And I am 48. And I think that's a magic number because it adds up to 12. And 12 is a magic number.
And 48 is the new 24.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah, I'm 24.
There you go. So that's awesome.
I'm actually 48, but I feel like 24. Let's say I feel like 24.
I feel like half my age, too.
Which, of course, you won't say on air.
I could say
I'm the one who's
Oh.
supposed to be afraid to say my age, okay?
Yeah.
I'm the one.
Okay.
'Kay.
Well, I didn't say I'm afraid. I'm gonna. My birthday's in August.
Okay, so
I
how
got
old
one
will you
coming
be?
up.
How old
I'm
will
gonna
you be?
You know, I don't even think about it. I got to think about it. I think it's 52.
Okay, it's because you're starting to forget?
No, because I don't care.
Okay, and that's the way it should be.
Because like I just don't think about how old.
You
I
know
am
what, Hugh?
anymore.
You can run up those stairs pretty fast for a 52-year-old.
I know.
Really. That's how many cards are in a deck. Just want you to know that. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Oh, look at that. They did the happy birthday thing.
Happy birthday. Thank you, guys.
That's
Appreciate
Aaron
that.
and Steven doing the tech today.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a nice relaxed show today. We're just having fun. We're getting into it.
We have an amazing first guest.
Yep.
Her energy is awesome.
Donna Kakonge. Is that right? Is here. She's got a new book, a new show. Are we going to talk about the show, Donna? Yeah.
I am
not
so
yet.
excited.
We're still doing our banter thing. But we'll get you in a minute.
Donna is amazing. I love Donna. She's got amazing energy.
Yep.
Yeah, she's like a young Whoopi Goldberg. And I mean that in the nicest way possible because I love Whoopi. I think she's a wonderful lady.
I just heard something about Whoopi Goldberg.
What did you hear?
Right? Well, you know, Goldberg's not her last name, in reality. That's not really her last name.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? A lot of them change their names, though, right? So that's not surprising.
An interesting thing, what I heard was, should I say it? I read this in Wikipedia.
Well, I hope it's good because I'm saying Donna, it reminds me of Whoopi Goldberg, and if it's something bad...
No, it's not bad at all. It's just that somehow her mother said to her, that her real last name, which I forgot, she said that isn't Jewish sounding enough for show business because Whoopi wanted to get into show business.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. What is her real last name?
I didn't know Goldberg was a Jewish name.
I think so. I think things that end in Berg and Stein. Just like OS, my last name is OS. That's typically Greek, right? SKY, SKI is typically Polish, or I think.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yep.
So
okay.
Berg, I think, is a common one.
Yeah, I know. I'm just joking around that. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, anyways,
I'm still really young and naive, even though I'm 48.
Now, wait. What are we talking about here? Because we're relaxing into this show here. It's very relaxing.
Yes, we are.
We got Rosanne Howell coming in from Play4Purpose.ca, which is a special. Well, we're going to find out all about it. It's a concert. I think it's at the Opera House, and
what's the purpose?
It's a good purpose, and we're going to find out when Rosanne gets here. Also, Rob Schaumer is coming in. He's got a talk coming up, and he does things to help entrepreneurs. So we're going to talk about all that.
Oh, I love that. See, I
Rob.
love that whole entrepreneurial spirit. I know some entrepreneurs, and I think actually in today's climate, you got to be an entrepreneur because there's a lot of companies going bust, and there's a renewed energy and a spirit in these people. I think that is just so uplifting.
Who,
so
entrepreneurs?
Yeah, because they get to do something that they really love to do, right?
Ideally.
Well,
I think the big problem is this.
Okay.
And this is going to segue into another topic, but
okay.
I think a lot of people are kind of being forced into entrepreneurship. Because it's a tough job being an entrepreneur.
Yes, yeah,
right?
I can't overlook that.
And a lot of people are being
That's
forced
true.
into it
That's
because
true.
there really aren't enough jobs. There really aren't. And in fact, I'm even agreeing with Mayor Rob Ford about something, because he came out in the paper yesterday because, of course, we had the tragic shooting in Scarborough. And Mayor Rob Ford said that more jobs is the solution. And I have to say, I agree with Mayor Rob Ford. It's at least part of the solution, is that we don't have enough work for everybody. Everybody in this country should, if they want to work, they should be able to contribute to society. We have lots of stuff that needs to be done. And we can, if we are smart enough, we can figure out how to take people that are otherwise idle, get them working on doing some of the things that we need done, and let that pay them for it, so they can pay their bills, raise their families, so that they are not encouraged to get into gangs.
But don't you think, I mean, I agree with you to some extent, but I think more importantly than jobs is purpose.
Well,
and I mean, so many people work and are not happy at their jobs. If you can have a job that gives you your purpose, that's then you'll never go wrong.
Well, I agree with that, and here's what I want to say about that, because I've got this white paper that I'm working on.
Okay.
Now here, basically, it works like this. So
okay,
first
so
of
let's
all,
just explain what a white paper is.
That's a
I don't know.
like an essay.
An essay.
Some
Okay,
ideas.
an essay.
Okay, but here's what it is. So first of all, Bank of Canada.
Okay.
Right? Mark Carney is the governor of the Bank of Canada. First of all, the Bank of Canada, if you look and see what their mission is to keep inflation low.
Okay.
Okay, that's their mission. What it should be, Mark, is I think now is the time for the Bank of Canada and the government of Canada to adopt a full employment strategy.
A full employment strategy.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What it means is that basically it's like we want to get unemployment. Instead of keeping inflation low, we want to keep unemployment at the lowest possible number. And let me get to this. Let me say why. First of all, why they don't have that as a policy is because, and why they want to keep inflation low, because they want to keep a kind of loose labor market to keep labor costs down. This benefits corporations, and it arguably benefits all business to keep labor costs down. That way Canada can be competitive
with China
in the global economy.
Okay.
Of course, that's not working out very well. But okay, so
but why do we continue to feed the corporations with labor? Why don't we feed people's purpose?
Okay.
And let that play out into...
I want to talk to that about this issue, because there was a survey done, and what it was that, or a study done, and what it found was that pay, like in terms of job satisfaction, pay is only a small component of that.
Yeah.
And purpose is what you're talking about, was a much larger component of what people are willing to work for.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is this. People will be willing to work for less if their jobs give them a lot of purpose. So by adopting a full employment strategy...
Based on purpose, not based on feeding corporations.
What it does is it gives the companies now an incentive to provide meaningful purpose in the jobs as a competitive advantage to attract workers and still keep their labor costs low. Because if they don't provide meaning in that job, they have to pay higher wages.
Okay, so
right? So in a I'm just saying, in a full employment situation, corporations are encouraged to fight for their employees using purpose rather than using dollars.
Okay, so and that makes a lot of sense to me. But so let's say you're working for a bank, Royal Bank, TD, whoever. How do you find purpose? How do you make it purposeful?
Some people might want to. The thing is, the bank
enough.
The banks compete on that basis. Like, leave that up to the banks.
Okay.
If the banks want employees and they have to pay them with purpose, let the banks figure that out. And if they can't, just like in a competitive environment, they failed. Guess what? They don't get the good employees.
Well, you know what? I think that sounds good. That sounds really good. I also know that, to your point about making less money if you're in a job that gives you some satisfaction, same thing with paying taxes. Canadians are fine with paying taxes if they trust the government. They have to trust the government. If they feel that it's going to the cause, they're okay with that. It's because they feel the government is just basically putting it in their back pocket that they don't trust it.
Yeah.
Right? So
and they are. We know that's happening.
So Canadians are not selfish.
Everybody.
Okay, so to that point, why do we have these lotteries that are like $50 million and $60 million? Why can't we split it up to like $61 million? You know, most people who stand in line, if you talk to them in the lottery lineups, they're like, you know what? That's too much money. I'd be happy with $1 million. Why can't we divvy it up to have 60 people win $1 million instead of one person win $60 million?
I think they should get rid of lotteries.
I do too, but if they're still here, why not spread it?
Because it's what it's doing, the problem with the lotteries. And I was all for it back in the Olympic lotteries. Remember 1976? Remember? It's when the first lottery started to fund the Olympics in Montreal.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
And now the governments are relying on income from lottery sales, which is really taxing poor people, right? Because the poorer you are, the more, I've been desperate and bought lottery tickets too, right? Well, and that encourages people to count on luck rather than working hard and creating businesses and jobs.
And then there's gambling. I was at Woodbine Center, and that's gambling, right? That's really playing a lottery in a way. And then they have this desk for people who have a problem with addiction to gambling. It's like, I was there because I was working at an event, and I'm like, what is wrong with this picture?
Yeah.
Here you have this gambling, and then you have this kiosk for counseling for people who are here.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So the thing is, a little bit of money is going to the government to fund some programs, but what's the cost, the true cost, the total cost, being borne by people whose lives are ruined by
the
gambling addiction,
costs.
families that are ruined by that.
Yeah.
What's the cost to us as a society overall?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Has that been factored in?
I don't
maybe it should be.
think so. I don't think it has been. I think if it were, I think there wouldn't be lotteries or gambling of any kind.
Yes.
I really do.
Okay.
And I don't like the fact that they use horses and make money off of horses.
Oh,
I don't like that either.
I don't know.
I know that horse that happened in Calgary?
Oh, the horse.
Oh my God.
I don't know, because I was
sad.
talking to a farmer though, and he said horses are kind of useless because you can't. Hi, come on in. Horses are kind of useless because you can't really use them for anything other than, say, racing or. But good news for horse farmers, it's apparently recently been approved in Ontario. It's okay
to farm horses?
To eat horses again. Horse meat is back on the menu, and I'm really glad.
You're going vegetarian. On his 52nd birthday, see, that's the gift he's giving himself. He's becoming vegetarian. No pressure, though.
No pressure. Oh,
so we can have
speaking
fake
of which,
horse meat.
Oh, here's the thing. I heard today the drought is bad. There's a drought, especially in the U.S.
See,
Not so
and
bad
that's
here.
that's the comeuppance for being so silly to think we could eat horses.
I don't think so.
You know what? It's
But
karma.
anyways, the drought
It's
is a
karma.
serious problem. It's going to affect food prices all over, and it's
And do you think the drought's coming to Canada?
well, it's a little bit here in Ontario.
But you said the crops were fine last time we talked.
Well, the last I saw is that they were saying there could be bumper crops across Canada
Yeah.
if the weather cooperated. We had a little bit of rain this week, but not enough. And anyways,
Well, this is the reason we all become breatharians.
You know what? Oh.
Because you'll never have a problem with the air.
I wish
Well,
I
we all
had.
might.
I wish I had it right
Breatharian.
now.
Got to become breatharian.
We might have to. You know that guy? What's his name? Has a mullet. That
Okay,
guy.
there's,
He's a new age mullet guy.
A new age mullet
I
guy.
forget his name, but anyways.
Is he American?
Yeah, he's American. But he's the guy saying he was friends with a native guy who had to go to pray.
For rain?
You know, the rain dance.
Oh,
It wasn't
okay,
the rain
okay,
dance, but he had
okay.
to go. But he said not to pray for rain. He prays rain. In other words, the way they have to do
Ah,
it,
that
because
makes
to pray for rain is an
sense.
acknowledgement that there isn't.
Okay, is that
the
the law of
rain.
attraction?
And all this stuff
That's the law of
works.
attraction.
And you know, and there's technologies out there that'll attract rain, like the Wilhelm Reich's Cloudbuster, which was featured
Or
in
it
that
could
video.
be harp.
It could be harp.
Purposely,
Purposely.
on purpose,
Yeah.
making it dry
Yeah.
to reduce our production.
Okay. So let's get busy.
Okay.
We should get busy. Okay.
You know, we could just talk forever on this stuff.
I know. Well, there's so much going on. It's very interesting times. Okay,
It is,
it's the
it is
middle of
really
summer, and we're trying to have fun. Okay, so I got some video here. I don't know which one I should do. Oh, found a cure for cancer. Found a cure for cancer.
Again?
Again, baking soda. Yeah, that's number.
I heard coffee enemas were
2.
good. Coffee enemas.
They're good, but not for cancer.
No coffee enemas? They're good for cancer.
I'm just kidding.
Cancer in that
I
part
don't
of the
know
body.
what they're for.
No,
yeah, because
they're
you gotta
good.
get rid of. You gotta keep your colon clean.
Yeah. So coffee enemas and baking soda.
But check this out. Seriously, baking
Interesting
soda.
combination.
And
love coffee,
in
but
fact,
not as an enema.
I'm gonna go make some of this stuff. I got a recipe for it. I'm gonna go make some this
Right now?
weekend and give
Oh,
it to
okay.
somebody I know.
Wow.
So let's watch this baking soda.
And you have to give us an update.
Cure for cancer. We're gonna come back with Donna Kakonge. Right
The
after
best
this,
last name in the
as
world.
Liquid Lunch
Kakonge.
starts now.
That after the 4 days treatment with the sodium bicarbonate, let's notice that the previous white tumor is gone, it disappeared. And this is also reported in my book. The cancer is a fungus, but in a video it is much more striking. The tumors disappeared. The liquid you can see is the sodium bicarbonate solution. Usually, from the 3rd to the 4th administration, the fungal colony regresses, and from the 4th to the 5th, the fungal colony shrinks very quickly, rapidly. Here we made just for washing out treatments, but they were enough to clean completely the bronchia. Now, take a look to another case, and with a special device, here we were able to enter in the pleura of a patient with cancer and made a video. And you can see that the pleura is quite white, instead of the normal color that is red. Here also the cancer is always white. And look now at the lamps. They seem like lamps on the roof, always white, and often this color is unknown also for the colleagues. They don't know this color, but we have to know, we have to be aware of the color white that is always in the cancer patients. But look, after a week, the endoscopy shows that the pleura is red as it should be. This is not cancer, this is just a reaction of the tissue, but you can see that all the pleura is red, and sodium bicarbonate cleaned up everything.
It's there.
Okay, so we're
That's
back.
amazing.
We're back, and so yes, so apparently baking soda can cure cancer.
You know, I have heard that. I've heard that it's actually has success.
And I'm gonna go make some because I got a recipe on the internet. Thank goodness for the internet. Oh
Yeah,
my
the internet's
goodness.
so amazing.
Apparently you
Big
just
Pharma can't control that.
no, you cook, but you cook it up. You cook the baking soda up with maple syrup and
Maple syrup. So do you actually eat it? Do you ingest this stuff?
you just eat it, and it tastes. I mean,
It tastes pretty good, actually.
well,
Maple syrup.
Anything with maple syrup tastes
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah.
Even natural poisons.
I'm always looking for stuff to put maple syrup on, so now I can put it on.
Don't give anybody any ideas.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, that's Donna
That's Donna.
Kakonge.
That's the most amazing
Donna.
laugh.
So we
Oh my
we
God.
got a lot to talk about, right?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I don't know, where do you want to start? I mean,
My goodness, anywhere you want to start, I'm easy peasy.
All right, okay. So you got the new book coming out, right?
Yes,
And what's
yes.
it called?
Only my voice.
Only my voice.
Only my voice. Only my voice.
Now that's an amazing name. That it makes me wonder: are you a singer or are you?
Yeah, I know. I wish.
But it's a captivating name. It's so very simple, but it's a captivating name. What does that mean?
Part of the reason why I wanted to come up with that title is because the experience is the book is about mental illness, and really the experience of mental illness is so different depending on who you talk to. Like it's as different as people's lives, right? Like you really can't take one person's story and think that's necessarily representative of everyone's story. Like for example, two examples. Kay Redfield Jameson, she wrote a very famous book. What was her book called? Something like, and unfortunately I can't remember. She's written a number one Touched by Fire,
Okay.
and then another one. I think it even has the title Voice in it somewhere, but I can't remember. Anyways, look up Kay Redfield Jameson. She's amazing.
Okay.
And she's actually a PhD in psychiatry.
Okay.
And she was discovering that, not to give away too much of her book, but it was written quite a while ago, but it's a real kind of like, it's something like a lot of people probably have been diagnosed with bipolar, they have on their shelves, right? So, and she was diagnosed with bipolar, taking her medication in hiding, still drinking, trying to drink in public and stuff to make people think that, like, she didn't have anything,
yes, yes.
And she's in psychiatric circles and hiding it. And then one day, actually, somebody comes to her, like a fellow psychiatrist, and says, like, what are you hiding for? Don't you know we all have our own thing per se, right? So I thought that was very interesting. But her book is fascinating. She has somewhere in her title, I'm sorry I've forgotten the title, but I think Voice is somewhere in the title of her very first book.
Okay.
But a lot of people have different stories. Like I was just down by the lakeshore last night, not at night, but actually in the afternoon with a friend of mine, and he wrote a book called Tranquil Prisons, and that book, he doesn't take medication, he doesn't believe in labels.
But he's got bipolar?
He's
Okay.
he's so-called, right? So that's what he's.
Yeah.
But he doesn't believe in labels. He doesn't.
Okay, but has he been clinically diagnosed with?
He has been clinically diagnosed, but he doesn't believe in medication. He doesn't believe in labels. He even told me about a psychiatrist at CAMH who's going to be resigning because they call it a schizophrenic unit, and that the word schizophrenic itself is racist in a way. He uses that language to describe it.
Okay.
And so there's a very political movement. Actually, last week was just Mad Pride Week. Okay. And a whole bunch of people.
Now, where was the parade for that?
Well, I don't think there was actually a parade, but there was a comedy show. Actually, my friend Eric, Dr. Eric Fabrice, very soon he read from his book at it. They had a whole bunch of different events and stuff talking about mad pride issues.
Okay, so wait a second.
Pride
What
and
is
being
mad
Is this the
pride?
Rendezvous with Madness Film Festival?
No,
Is that
then
part of
that's
that?
happening. Then that's happening in October.
All right.
And actually, my psychiatrist has a documentary she's doing on the unit that she deals with at Toronto General
Okay, so
Hospital,
wait a second. You said my psychiatrist.
Yes.
Are you seeing somebody?
Oh yes, for 9 years.
Okay, and I love the way you just threw that out there with absolutely no stigma.
Yeah.
No, well, I at least I'm being treated like
You know what? This is so amazing. This is so amazing.
At least I'm not running around like telling, because I used to be one of these people who tell all my friends my problems. I was a basket case. And then, I tell, and I see all of you that are watching this and know that's true, sorry. And so it's like, I'd be on the phone telling them all my problems. You got those friends, right? And they probably have something. They probably have something that has just gone untreated, right? So, or just they're doing something, or just at least even, doesn't even need a psychiatric label to it. They just need to speak to someone, right? So, and preferably not maybe you, 4 hours out of each day or something, I'm exaggerating, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you all about their problems, right? Maybe it'd be nice to actually hear some good things for once, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
and there's those people that you meet like that, right? So it's kind of like, then just see someone that you can develop a level of trust with, that you can talk about those things, who's paid to do that, because I have work to do. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it gets to that point, and you don't want to even be rude, but it's like, okay, I have work to do and I don't have time, unless you're going to pay me, it's just, but the clock is ticking and deadlines are
passing.
Yes, you get what I'm saying,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
So, and it's a fine line between being a friend and then becoming an unpaid counselor.
Yes.
Yes. And I think everybody has gone through that, right? So yes, I see someone and make sure that, like, when I have, that she's really the person that, and I don't even really tend to complain to her too much, because I just feel so privileged that, we live in a country like Canada where my OHIP card, makes it possible for me to not to have to pay for her, right? So, I've been seeing her for 9 years. I see her twice a year, and it's just enough.
And when you saw her in the beginning, how often was that?
Oh, it was every week.
Okay.
It was every week. So went from
Okay.
about every week to every 2 weeks to about maybe every month, I think, and then about and it would go back and forth, like, because,
if something's coming on or you're dealing with something stressful.
Exactly,
in your life.
exactly.
Okay.
Like, my dad had a heart attack. And these kind of things. So it's not necessarily like it's one step in front of the other. Of course, everybody knows sometimes it's 2 steps back, 1 step forward, all that.
Yes,
so
yes.
you deal with that dance of life, right?
But
So,
don't you think, your book, for mental health issues, the timing is perfect, because mental health, depression is through the roof now.
Yeah.
And we don't have, I think we as a medical community don't really understand it fully.
Yeah.
But I mean, don't you think, Donna, that there's something systemically wrong or socially wrong, because mental health is happening everywhere. All of us know somebody.
Well, I'll tell you, and Liz, we talked about the jobs earlier too. I think a lot of people would be, if they just had a job. So that they have, they got something to do with their day that's got some meaning and purpose, and they're getting some money so that they don't have to worry about paying the bills, because that's depressing. You know what? Let's have a full employment strategy, Mark.
Exactly, which is what we'll lead to talk about soon, right? But I mean, that's really good that you brought that up, because funny enough, when I did have my first official breakdown, it was actually from a job loss.
Of course.
It was from a job loss. It was the first main disastrous failure that I'd ever had. And I started working at the age of 10. I was delivering newspapers at the age of 10, thanks to my dad's encouragement. And
which paper did you deliver?
The Toronto Star.
I used to deliver the Star too.
The Star is a great paper. 4th largest newspaper in North America.
Really?
Even now? Even today?
Yeah, even today.
Wow.
Even today.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Especially on Saturday.
Yeah, the Saturday is the best one.
Saturday, if you read from the beginning to the end, it would take you all year to read the Saturday paper.
It really does. I have so many memories of being young, and it's I would wait for that Saturday paper, and it's that paper.
I hated it.
I loved it.
That
I
would
loved
be
it, but I loved to read.
To deliver,
and it partially taught me how to read.
How big was your pile?
Oh my goodness!
My pile on Saturday was like.
I must have been a 10-year-old with the biggest biceps, and my mom would help me.
How many did you have on your route?
Would help me. She would carry them.
Wait a second. How many papers did you have on your route?
Oh, I probably had not too many. I think it was maybe about 50 or 60 or so. Not too many. It wasn't too bad.
And did you have the same on Saturdays you did through the week?
No, I'm talking about the regular day, the Monday through Friday.
See, I used to envy you. See,
Saturday I had over 100 for sure.
Where was your route?
It was at Victoria Park in Eglinton around Sunrise Avenue.
Okay.
Where was yours?
Mine was when I was a kid, okay, I did it as an adult as well.
My dad still does.
When I was,
as for exercise,
it's good.
Yeah,
well, and the money's good too.
Yeah,
It's better doing that than working at Walmart.
That's right. That's right.
You know,
but he owns
a lot of retired people
too. But it's good exercise and all that. So
yeah, so
he does it for the exercise. Yeah.
Anyway, when I did it in Toronto,
you
asked me where it was. I did it when I was in Toronto. I did it at Bathurst and Eglinton.
Wow.
That's a nice area.
That is a nice area. Wow, you must have gotten good tips.
You know,
it's all about the tips.
Let me tell you something.
This is how you clean up.
I'll tell you something. And then, here's the problem with the Star. This is the carrier issues here. When you deliver the Star, you have to collect.
That's why I used to go on collection.
I hate collecting.
I used to love it.
No.
I used to love seeing all that money. Oh my goodness.
I hate collecting.
Why did you hate collecting?
Because you got to go back and collect.
I know.
And then a lot of people don't pay. And then the little stubs fall off your cards.
No, I didn't have that problem. Like I think when you're male in general, like that might be more of a problem. But I think most people felt, little black girl, I'll pay you. Like you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like I'll go to hell.
Yeah, you're always going to run into people you can't even reach. They're never there.
I'll go to hell if I don't pay this little black girl. I'll pay her.
She was able to play the sympathy card.
I was able to play the sympathy card.
You know what
exactly.
I did? I gave up on the Star. I went over to the Globe and I delivered the Globe.
Globe is nice.
And they just,
the Globe.
I didn't have to collect. They just give me some money, and I don't have to work on Sundays. Okay.
Okay. So is the Globe like for the elitist carrier?
You promoted yourself.
Yeah.
You upgraded.
I upgraded.
You upgraded.
And that was in Rosedale.
Well, excuse me.
And that was good. Rosedale. Now there the tips were good.
How did you manage
wow,
that?
that is great.
You
that
upgraded
is great.
the paper and you
great.
upgraded the area.
That is amazing.
Do that?
I like that.
That's the way it works. That's the way it works. And anytime, any holiday seasons like Easter, Christmas, you clean up in tips.
I know.
And it's just you look forward to that time.
That's true.
So I guess you knew how to schmooze even then.
No.
Because you moved up.
It's good training. I think you know what really I think is sad that they don't have those jobs for kids anymore.
Well, I don't know how many people buy the paper anymore or subscribe online.
Yes, I get it. I get it online,
Yeah.
and I do get like I'll get the New York Times on either Saturday or Sunday. Yes, Saturday.
Delivered to your house?
My dad. Yeah, my dad gives it to me. I don't even know where he gets it from, but maybe he probably knows the carrier that delivers the New York Times.
What is he delivering now? The Star?
Young and Eglinton.
The Star?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Star, yeah,
right.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So he's got to work 7 days a week, right?
Yeah,
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
That's...
He's been doing it since 1981, every single day.
I get sick of the 7 days.
And the winter in storms?
The only time, everything. The only time he ever missed a day was when he had his heart attack.
Wow.
And he missed 3 days.
He should be a Canada Post worker.
Yeah, I know.
He should be a mail carrier.
I know. I
agree.
agree.
When you control the mail.
Dominic is really cool.
You control information.
That's true. That's true. You know, I was even thinking about Canada. I was thinking of Canada Post just this morning actually, because I'm hoping to get some money coming in for some work that I'm doing. And I was thinking they should track it. They should allow you to track everything.
Yeah, they should.
All mail that goes
Absolutely.
through, like just no more regular mail. They would actually make money if they eliminated the regular mail, like the stamp business. Who cares? I mean, if you're sending something, it's good to know where it last was and when exactly it's coming in.
Well, you can pay for that. They'll do that if you pay the premium price.
But they could eliminate the regular stamp, the stamp thing, and make even more money by forcing people to
I don't want to pay more for stamps. I'll buy the stamps.
I don't even buy, I'll have stamps in my wallet. I don't even use them. I always get express post.
But how about those people who collect stamps?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
a huge
That's true. That's a
hobby
good
industry,
point. That's
right?
a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Donna, we're getting off track here.
I know.
Yes, we are.
Okay, let's get back to your book, Only My
Okay.
Voice. So,
Yeah, so it's it's a good book. So buy it, read it.
Buy it when it
Coming
comes out.
Fall 2012.
All this
okay.
talk in the
Okay,
Esca book.
let's get back to the other stuff then.
No, it was absolutely a delight to write it.
Is this like an
really,
autobiography?
It's like a memoir. It's like it starts from the time that I was first hospitalized at the age of 23.
Okay.
And then it ends pretty much when, because now I've been out of the hospital for, like, as I had 16 hospitalizations, and then for the past 9 years, I haven't, over 9 years now, so I haven't been in the hospital at all. So it pretty much stops, like, chronologically it's a little off, like, because it's creative nonfiction, right? So we had to kind of fudge with some of the dates a little bit so that it's not like, you know, it's not journalism. It's not like, say, accurate. But because it's creative nonfiction, technically, really, in the accuracy would be of about, say, a 7-year time span. Because 30, at the age of 30, was the last time I'd pretty much been. 30, 31, around there is the last time I'd been in the hospital.
So it's kind of a chronicle, creative nonfiction chronicle of your experience dealing with
mental illness, diagnosis bipolar.
Right.
So the interesting thing about the book is that, like, it kind of, rather than say, it's not as much say, okay, well, it's not like bipolar is this, bipolar is that. It's not that. It's an experiential kind of book. It's kind of like, what were my, it's a way of putting down on paper what my experiences were like, you know? So it's funny because some people may see it as like chilling, like, you know, like kind of like, I don't know if you've ever read, it's not to compare the circumstance, but Elie Wiesel's Night.
No.
It's a wonderful book, and it's chilling, but it's almost like I find the copy editor did an amazing job to give it that almost style to it, like very kind of bare bones, kind of not much said, but this scariness to it a little bit. My copy editor did more that. He's more responsible for that than I am.
Everybody needs an editor. Even the best writers need an editor.
It is so true.
You know what?
It is so true.
What does an editor do? I know nothing about.
Oh, you are made or broken by your editor.
Really?
Like, as far as I'm concerned.
So that you write the book.
Yeah.
But what do they do?
Well, they look at it. It's kind of like somebody who has the skills of a writer and the skills of a reader, but the knowledge to be able to turn it into something that is grammatically flawless, right?
Which you need.
And content-wise, you know, they may be able, things that are in your head, like, you know, you think, okay, that makes sense. Like, they would be able to say, well, why did you say that? Or why did you say that? Okay, so
they're objective.
So they fill the gaps. They're the objective eye, right? And then if you're lucky enough to get a copy editor on top of it, which is why, like, I self-published many books, right? But this, like, I mean, this experience of working with the traditional press has been absolutely amazing. And that's because, I mean, I had an editor I didn't pay for. I was even willing to pay them, but they're practically volunteers, you know, for the time they put in. And so they did like Lori Callis did the editing, and then John, I'm so sorry I've forgotten your last name, John. Anyways, John did the copy editing. I'm so sorry I've forgotten your last name. My goodness.
What's the difference, though? What's the difference between copy editing? Do you know? And editing?
Yes.
Copy editing is it's like that's where it's kind of like, it's not just proofreading, but it's kind of like it's spelling, grammar, punctuation.
But that's what I thought an editor was.
But editor does that too. Editor's more content. Copy editor's more style.
Right.
You know, and then also what John made sure of is that I was adhering to Chicago manual style. Because most books, like literary books, will be Chicago manual manual style. So, yes, Chicago style manual technically is called. Yeah. So
you have a traditional publisher this time around.
Yes, that's with the traditional publisher, Life Rattle Press, and they're fantastic. They are absolutely fantastic. The book is actually being typeset as we speak. Lori, the editor, she also does that as well. She contacted me yesterday or 2 days ago asking me what ideas I had for the cover, and
so
exciting? It's getting it's really neat. It's really neat. Now, mind you, she said it could be anywhere from a situation where I'm making like $100 a year from it. I'm just being frank because numbers are important, right? To say it gets picked up by a big publisher, right? So and it'd be picked up by a big publisher if it sells really well, right? So I mean, you just don't know, right?
So how did you get on this rattlesnake press? Or
Life Rattle. But I understand why you said that. Yes. So Life Rattle Press, I took an expressive writing course during my PhD studies, which I'm still in, at OISE University of Toronto with Professor Guy Allen. And he is a publisher of the press, and so we got along really well. He likes my writing, and then it went from there. And then he encouraged me to send my stuff to there. So that's what made all the difference in the world.
No,
so
Donna,
you don't get anywhere without people helping you out, which is why the government should help people get jobs.
That's right.
That's right.
Okay, now listen, Donna, we don't have a lot of time left, but I have an important question, and that is who should read the book?
I really think everyone, because I mean, the more I talk to different people, the more I'm honest about what I've been through. It's amazing to me how many people do have people that are in their family or themselves or a friend or a husband or a wife or anything.
Who doesn't know somebody who is not depressed?
Exactly, who hasn't been affected. Like,
who doesn't know somebody who does not know the name of one antidepressant?
Exactly. And it's so in the news. And I think that, the good thing, there's so much things in the news that, they'll talk about like a schizophrenic or something like that who's like killed his family or something. Well, there aren't too many stories told about the schizophrenic that's like, the so-called schizophrenic who's getting up every morning, going to their job, coming home, taking their medication, watching a little TV, getting up in the morning again and doing the same thing, and then on the weekend going out shopping at Walmart or whatever and doing their little shopping,
living a normal life.
Coming home. Exactly, you get what I'm saying. So I'm not saying my book is necessarily that kind of story per se. Like, it's not maybe necessarily the kind of story that's like, okay, it's just normal life. It's about the experiences that I had while I was high or manic or whatever these terms are, right? So it is actually a very interesting read.
Because I bet it is. I know. I've heard some of those stories,
and for that, I would love to write a follow-up book that was more kind of like these post 9 years. These 9 years of so-called almost like sobriety.
And to say that the book is chilling to some degree, and to see you now is actually really inspirational for people, to think, well, if she can have gone through, from one extreme to the other and look at you, then maybe I can do it too.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have a book launch, and for sure both of you are invited.
Wow.
And so there's going to be a book launch, and from there it'll happen in fall of 2012, and still working on the exact day. But I don't know if any of you are into numerology. I'm just praying it's a
big time.
I love
big time.
I wore this color because it's a 7-day for me. So
good for you.
Yeah. Oh,
good
you got
for
to.
You.
You got to. So, but. Maybe TMI, too much information, but don't worry, I'm covered.
Okay. All right, Donna. So sometime in the fall it's coming out. Now, is there a website or something if people want to pre-order the book or something like that?
Life Rattle Press, that would be fantastic.
So what is that?
LifeRattlePress.ca.
Okay.
It's the website, and that's where people can pre-order the book. I'm sure the publisher, the editor, and the copywriter would absolutely love that. And that would be fantastic. I would be very appreciative of that.
All right, and do you have a website or blog or something where if people want to get it, stay in touch with you?
My website is Donna, Donna.
Yeah.
KAKONGE.com.
So it's just your name.com.
Yes, exactly.
Donna Kakonge.com.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
I pay $300 like every.
What?
I pay $300 every 3 years
To have that name?
to me, and even more. And then I pay like other stuff too. So.
Well, we're gonna have to take that conversation
Those are
offline,
big
Donna.
expenses.
But, okay, we gotta take a break.
Too much. You should be paying that.
Okay, you guys work that out. We'll find you a good host after this. After. Well, okay, listen. Did you hear Darth Vader was spotted on the subway here in Toronto? We got some video here of Darth Vader and Princess Leia
Vader,
too.
very cool.
I
So
think it's an alien.
it could be. So that's
Darth
number.
Vader was discovered on the. Wow.
Okay, so we're gonna take this little break and we're gonna come back with Rosanne Howell and Michelle Mondesir as Liquid Lunch continues. We'll be right back.
Only you could be so bold. The Imperial Senate will not sit still for this. When they hear you've attacked a diplomatic...
Don't act so surprised, Your Highness. There weren't already military missions this time. Several grand missions were sent to this ship by rebel spies. I want to know what happened to the plans they sent you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan.
Part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
Move along. Move along.
We're back here on the show. Are we back? Okay, good. We're back here on the show, and there's the little promo video for Play for Purpose, and we have Rosanne Howell here and Michelle Mondesir.
Hello, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
And I think it's just kind of a interesting, not a coincidence, but here we've had the tragic shooting this week here in Toronto, and you guys are putting this event together that's supposed to deal with the youth violence, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about let's talk about the whole issue. And first of all, how did you guys well, why were you interested in putting this together?
Well, was it last August? I was asked to go down to Toledo, Ohio, and do a show to stop youth violence in Toledo. So we did a little benefit concert there, and
are you a performer, Roseanne?
yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm
Okay.
a music
Okay.
performer, and so
Michelle is
Michelle.
okay. Okay.
Yes, so I did one down there, and we cultivated relationships, and they said, we want to do one in Toronto for the same thing. Come on, put it together, do it. And so I teamed up with Michelle, and we've been a great team. And we're starting to put one up here. We're raising money for
Redemption Reintegration Services, which
Yes.
is
Redemption.
Reintegration Services.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
What does it mean? Basically, what they do is they reintegrate youth that have been in the criminal justice system back into society by providing them education, work, housing.
And who's doing that? Is it who's raising that money, or what organization is
The organization
doing that?
is Redemption Reintegration Services.
So is this a
Okay.
nonprofit? Is this
They are a
government
nonprofit.
funded? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
They're not. Yeah, it just.
They're
you know,
I believe they're privately funded. Do you remember the company?
Yeah,
they're
their Youth Challenge has funded them,
Okay.
and also I mean they work with the Toronto District School Board, and they have a really great program and really great.
Wow,
people.
I've never heard of this program.
It sounds like just for the fact you have to raise money for it means that they don't have enough money.
Yeah.
That's
which
right.
means
Good
that they're not
They're not-
serving everybody who needs that kind of
right.
service,
That's
right?
right.
Which is kind of tragic.
Yeah.
They're growing. They have an office in Scarborough and an office in the West End. So they're
Have you guys
growing.
thought about talking to Rob Ford this week? Because you know he's in the press a lot.
That's a
because
good
of-
idea. We haven't thought of that actually.
You know,
Maybe the
Well,
timing.
because he's saying, jobs,
Yeah.
like, and people are advocating for kind of funding to do this, not just reintegration, but programs for youth, for. Well, let's talk about some of the core causes of this. Now, you were down in Toledo.
yes.
And are they the same kind of causes down there, or that they are here, or what do why do we have this problem?
Well, I find in the northern states, especially now, I mean, it's so close to the Motor City, they're in really bad shape right now. So I think a lot of it is economic pressure, and the youth.
Economic?
Economic pressure. So the youth are looking for ways.
They got to do something,
to
right?
have an opportunity.
To put
So
food
they're
in their
creating
mouth,
their own
even,
opportunity.
at the
Yeah,
very
exactly.
least, right?
Yeah, what's going to happen tomorrow? Is there a future?
Yeah. And sometimes it's a lack of mentorship as well. These are kids that are either single parent families or come from single parent families or are adopted, or they're
So there's
just bounce
economic
around in the
issues,
system.
there's social issues,
Yep.
right? I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I was watching a couple of videos about, we know what Detroit is like. The city is just falling apart. It's dying. It's a, and it's not the only one. Gary, Indiana, Toledo. The Rust Belt, right?
Well, the show I did in Toledo was a beautiful venue, and right next door are boarded up buildings.
Oh, isn't
Nobody's
that,
in them.
Isn't that telling?
It's so
Wow.
out of a video game.
But the same thing is happening here in Canada, and we're not.
starting.
The Harper government and the governments that have pursued. I'm blaming them a little bit because they've and God knows how many administrations in the states have presided over the slow destruction of the manufacturing base of North America, right? And look at Hamilton, Stelco's closed. Look at Ajax. I hear that where people used to have jobs, these places are now closing down.
Yeah.
And all the work's being moved to China, to Mexico, to not here,
exactly.
right?
So what does the program or the organization, what's it called?
Redemption Reintegration Services.
Redemption Reintegration Services. How long have they been around, and do they have a success rate? Do they track success? Do you know how long they've been around?
I don't know how long they've been around. They originally started as a youth-led organization, and that's what the Youth Challenge funds. And they are achieving success. I think so. You see some really great youth in their centers, and they've been helping out organizing this event. And
so that was my next question. Have you worked with some of them?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And so you're seeing results. So this does work.
Yes.
The reason I'm asking this question is because, you know, if it does work, the timing is perfect to kind of expand on this. And I mean, if you already have a results proven method that you can take wider scale, we should be doing it. You know, and because instead of spending it all in police forces after the fact, you know, and the crime, and after the fact, after the people are dead, after the trauma, the community has been traumatized, let's do it before. Spend the money on proactive before this happens, right? And if you already have some sort of track record, then you know, what are we waiting for?
Exactly. And that's the sad part, the fact that we have to wait till, it seems like that's always the case, we wait till something tragic happens before we actually do something about it, and that's part of the reason we wanted to do this. We want to make sure that we're being proactive instead of reactive, you know.
This give awareness, you know, and like, I mean, I think, I'm not sure, but I think Rob Ford made a statement saying he doesn't want anyone who's using guns to be in the city of Toronto. But most of these youth have been involved and are learning. It's a learning thing for them, and it's way different reality for them in the first place. And now that things are actually being acknowledged and addressed, things are changing, things are growing. And it just reminds me of how similar the issues that these youth deal with any youth in care. Part of another thing that we're showing off with Play for Purpose are the efforts of Our Voice, Our Turn, which is the youth leaving care hearings that they had here in Ontario, in Queen's Park, in November.
What is that? The what?
The youth leaving care hearings.
Youth
leaving any kind of child welfare system.
Oh, okay. Youth leaving the care system.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
They leave too early. They age at around 18 to 20 something, but it's very young, and they don't have a lot of support.
Oh, this is like for Children's Aid, for example?
Yeah,
and they leave Children's Aid, but they're on their own at the age of 18 or...
Yes.
Yeah.
So
is there any gradual program to like gradually integrate them to be on their own?
This is one of the recommendations. We had hearings, the youth led hearings for 2 days.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's amazing.
That's amazing.
They assembled a report. They presented to the Minister of Children and Youth Services, and he's accepted responsibility for it, and now things are changes in progress.
So they are they making policy changes?
I think so. I'm pretty sure they're working together to, because now that the youth have told everybody what the issues are, they're being addressed. So, and I'm
so they're finding their voice.
Yeah, to me they're so similar.
Wow, that's
with the issues that they're dealing with, and they almost kind of end up working.
They almost like
they intersect somehow.
They intersect each other, and it's like when they come out of once they age out of the system, then you have RRS who kind of picks up and says, okay, we're gonna continue with this work and help you.
That's amazing.
So, well, if they go to crime, which is the statistic.
Do we know what that statistic is?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
It's in the report, though.
All right. So we're raising money for RRS, the Redemption Reintegration Services, and also for...
No, we're not raising money. We're just showing off the success of Our Voice, Our Turn.
Now, are there other programs that you are showcasing?
Those are it for now.
Okay.
That's it for now. It's a tall order.
Yeah. Now, are you doing for this event? Are you doing anything in light of what happened? Are you doing anything with that community, inviting them out, or making any kind of special, reaching out to that community?
Well, we're in talks about it. It's still pretty recent, so and it's a new development.
And you don't have a lot.
But we are in talks about hopefully going out to that community and maybe having volunteers of the youth of RRS to come out with us and help promote the event and bring more awareness.
Bring some news there. Bring some news. Like bring Global or CTV or or us there.
Or you guys,
we can do that.
Okay, when is the event?
The event is August 10th.
Okay.
It's at 9 p.m. or doors open at 9 p.m. Sorry. It is at the Opera House.
Cool.
We have 5 American artists coming up to show their support.
So who have you got coming up? Let's name the artists here.
Jabril Serapis Bey. We've got Krita. We've got Di, also known as Daniel Isaac. Who else we got?
We have Mike Rome.
We have I can't believe I
Of
almost forgot
course,
Mike Rome.
Mike Rome.
And we have
Abyss Music Group.
Yes, Abyss Music Group.
And what kind of music is it? Is it a bunch of different kinds?
It's mostly urban music, so hip hop, R&B, soul music, that kind of
nice.
stuff. Yeah,
Very
nice. A little
nice.
bit of a mixture.
Opera House is a nice.
It's a great venue.
It's a great venue.
Did you bring a CD? Can we? Is there a track that we could play at the end of the interview just to give people a sample of something?
Do you want
to premiere our collaboration?
Actually,
who you guys?
Yeah, we
did one with Mike Rome.
With Mike Rome
in the States, so the Canadian American.
Nice.
We'll give you that.
Do that.
You want to hand me the CD and tell me what track it is?
It's on
and
this
then
little tiny USB key.
Uh-oh.
It's also on a CD. Don't worry.
Is it?
The CD is over there, though.
Oh.
I have to get up and get it.
What's the best way to do this, Steve? Is there a YouTube video?
Is it? No. It's just,
not yet. That's
it's just audio.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's coming.
Where's the CD?
Do you want to get up and get the CD?
No, just tell me where it is.
It's in that bag, wait in that corner, that grocery bag. Yep.
Okay, well,
Groceries.
see if they can get that.
Keeping
And
it real.
what track number is it?
It's there's 2 CDs in there.
Is that one? What's the song called? It's labeled.
So if you open it, this disc is called Play for Purpose on it. You'll see it, and it's the very last one.
Last track.
Number 11.
Awesome. Okay, so they're going to get that ready. So we're looking forward to that.
Yay.
Wow, that's amazing. And thank you to the American artists. And they're coming from, are they from
Most of them are from Toledo. I have some people coming up from Atlanta.
Nice.
We also have a great Canadian lineup.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
The Canadian lineup.
Of course. Sorry,
we have
guys.
a mystery headliner. We have
What?
another
Yeah, come
headline.
on.
A mystery.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Is
It's
that
a
you and your
mystery.
band? Is that your band, too?
Doubt it.
He's gonna rap for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also have Ray Robinson, well-known R&B singer here in Toronto.
Excellent.
Rosanne will be performing. I'll be performing. We have D vocals.
And are you going to do your songs together too?
Yes, we're actually going to do our collab.
Like, are you guys hip hop artists?
I'm a R&B soul singer.
Okay.
I'm a singer, songwriter, and producer, and I work a lot in hip hop, but I will not rap.
Why not?
Because I'm not
It
good
just
at it.
doesn't work. I get it.
I'm a singer.
I know.
You know, they try to get me to do it. I'm like, oh, guys.
Well, you got to write it too, right? You got to have the. You got to write it first,
you know
right?
What? It's a real art form.
Right. You know, one of the songs I did was a hybrid. So it's like a rap, but I'm singing it. I'm singing the rap.
Is that the closest you're
That's
going to
as
get?
far as it goes.
Yeah. Good for you, though, for saying, you know what? I can't do it.
You guys are good. Let's leave it at that.
You're being like the karaoke rapper, right?
Oh,
you know how people love to go to karaoke to see the people not do well, right? You don't want a good person doing karaoke. They get it's boring, right?
Yeah.
It's the guys who try to reach those notes and you can just hear the walls crumbling, right?
I've never heard of a karaoke rapper. That I've got to see. That's funny.
That would be good. That would be good.
So
I'd do it.
How much are the tickets?
The tickets in advance are general admission are $15.
Okay.
VIP is $45. At the door, prices go up. $20 for general and $60 for VIP.
So what does VIP get?
VIP includes food. It includes non-alcoholic beverages. It includes seating. It's balcony view.
Nice.
What kind of food do you get for
Less.
that?
We're
like
still
finger
working out the
foods?
details.
Do they?
Finger food?
I didn't know they had food at the Opera House.
They do now.
One I can mention that we're going to have for food is this place called Just Soups, and it's West Indian soups. Oh,
wow.
Really?
Like home cooking soups. So it's beautiful.
Is bread extra? Like $3?
No. No,
it's,
No, so for you.
No. I see what you're saying. Sorry, took
want
me a
bread?
minute.
$3.
Next.
It sounds amazing. So, okay, so where is this money going then? I know it's about just getting it out there. It's not really to raise money, but what are you doing with the money?
We're raising money for
our
redemption, reintegration services. Yes.
Okay.
It's going to them.
Okay, let's talk about we have a little bit of time left, but let's and you've got a constituency of people that you're working with, people with RRS and the other organizations, and people that are just generally interested in solving the problem of youth violence. But what do you think? What do you guys think? Really, looking at the big picture, what is the answer to the problem? Because I'm concerned I'm concerned. I think we've got a real problem in Toronto. I think we're seeing an escalating of the murder rate in Toronto. I heard a statistic that in Chicago, for example, youth violence, gang violence is like 34% higher this year than last year. You know, like, what is the real solutions at a macro level?
Honestly, I think a big part of it is just getting, one, mentoring for sure. I think that's a big deal. The youth need to be mentored and shown that they don't have to go that path. That's very important. Also, not having accessibility to weapons.
To what?
Weapons.
So it's so easy to get guns across the border.
It's so easy for them to...
How do you do that? How do you...
Greater security
how
at
do
the
you
border,
solve that
right?
issue?
Something as simple as not making... Well, you're saying the border, which is a totally different circumstance, but just not making, like, bullets as easily accessible.
Like manufacturing, right down to manufacturing level.
Just buy bullets. It's not hard. You don't need to be, you know, a registered gun user to be able to purchase the ammunition. Like something as simple as that would change a lot.
But you know, I mean, and that's a really good point. But how did these guns come across? Like,
well,
that is a bigger question.
And it seems it's getting easier and easier because.
But another thing that might we need to deter youth from going that route anyway, is give them opportunities
and purpose.
You know, and listen to them. Like part of the success of the youth hearings where they were actually listened to and taken into consideration, and they were equal playing field.
So they felt they were valuable.
Exactly.
Yeah, they were equally talking to anyone who was older or younger than them. And so if we give these opportunities and listen and have faith in our youth who have so much potential, they probably won't even think about all that other stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
And spread awareness of all the positive stuff that is actually happening. I think that will help too.
That's a really good point, because I think the whole gun thing and the violence thing is not a first resort. That's a last resort.
Yes.
If given another resort, they would opt for that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think so. I think it's a really good point.
I think so.
And is that what the redemption and reintegration program or services focuses on?
Yeah, and they do it in a family. Like, it's like a family setting, so everybody's comfortable. And
so they have centers? Is that how that works?
They have two centers.
Two centers, okay.
One in the West End and one in the East End of Toronto.
Now, what about beyond Toronto? Because, you know, I think youth are facing similar issues, maybe not identical, but, you know, we know what's happening in Toledo, in the States, other places.
And even north.
Yeah,
north here, and I know there's a long way to go. And so there's room to grow still.
Lots of room to grow.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Sounds
well,
amazing. Thank you guys for doing this.
Thank you for having us here. Thank you very much.
It's a labor of love. We love doing it.
Wow.
Okay, so August 10th, it's coming up at the Opera House. Now, is there a website where people can go?
www.play, the number 4, purpose.ca.
And they can order tickets and all that kind of stuff?
They can do everything there. Find out more information, donate if they'd like.
If they can't attend, you can donate.
Awesome.
Now, also, who is a part of these programs? Like, what if some kids are just not happy? How do kids get involved in this program? Is it just people who are coming out of jail? Or?
Yeah, I think it's linked to that. It's a service specifically for them, but there are
many organizations.
There are all kinds of organizations that are for youth in other situations. You don't have to have a compromise to get involved. I can't list them here, but
Well, it sounds like this is what you guys are doing here. Is it's
a second chance.
This is the kind of thing, though, that there should be an ongoing effort to not only raise awareness, but for to set up a system of some sort where people can take action, even if the government's not taking action. Like it looks like. We're going to have to figure out how to do it ourselves, right?
And it really should be a community thing. We should all get involved in some way, shape, or form. If we all did a little bit, it would go a long way.
All right. Well, listen, if we got the website and people can get in touch with you, and maybe somebody's got a great idea and they want to work with you to keep things improving in the long run and just get more
and spreading more centers, because I think that's really crucial too, especially to your point, Michelle, about communities. You have to be in the community, so you have to have a center in the community.
Okay, so play 4, the number 4, purpose.ca is the website. And now, so we have this track. Now, what is this track that we're listening to? right now.
It's a
What is it?
U.S.-Canadian collaboration.
I'm so proud of that. Yes.
It's called Fly Away.
Wow.
Mike Rome, myself, Rosanne Howell, and Michelle
Mondesir.
on it, and we're all putting our take. To me, the song just encompasses all that we're doing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay,
So-
great.
That sounds beautiful.
Okay,
Oh, and
awesome.
don't forget, we have 2 complimentary
Oh,
tickets
yes.
Right.
Yeah,
to
that's
give away.
right.
So
So we're going to ask people to email us here at contact us at thatchannel.com if they want to get these. You got till October the 4th. We'll give them away to the first
October
people that want
4th?
them. Sorry, August the 10th.
August 10th.
I always get October the 4th and August the 10th
October
mixed
the
up.
4th, just, you know.
They can put it in their scrapbook.
No. Wow.
Okay, guys,
I think
thanks
there's
for
something in
doing
this
this.
water.
And
Thanks
we'd
again for
like
having
to
us.
hear about future endeavors that you're involved with. So please keep us up to date.
absolutely.
For sure.
And
Thank you
we'd
guys.
love to have you back. So,
It's an honor.
yeah.
Thank you.
So let's watch the video, and we will come back. We got Rob Schaumer here. We're
Watch
going to talk about entrepreneurs and helping
You
how
know,
to help
I think
entrepreneurs.
the theme of today is purpose.
Purpose.
Perfect.
Yes.
I like that. Nice.
Having purpose.
Okay, so here's Fly Away, and we'll be right back here
Can't
on
wait
the
to see
Relax.
this.
Well, it's a song.
You don't
I
see
know.
it, you hear it.
I want to.
It's just a song.
Sure we sing our story, 'cause we're meant to be the light.
Okay, and
Good luck, guys.
We're back on the show here.
Michelle and Rosanne.
Sound
They
like
left the house.
Yeah, they just left
That
the
was a
building.
great track.
It was a great track.
Had a really nice
Only
feel.
heard the rest of it. Okay, we sound like
Echoed.
Echo. Okay.
That's Darth
anyway,
Vader.
here we are, and we got Rob Schaumer joining us here at the table. Rob, great to meet you. Great to have you on the show.
Andrew, nice to meet you.
So we were sort of talking before we came on about about what you're doing and how you got into it, and you're helping entrepreneurs, but and you've got a talk coming up on August 2nd,
right.
And we're going to find out about that. But you mentioned that you got started as an internet entrepreneur, so that's kind of cool.
Consultant,
right?
So what's the story there?
Right. So I was thinking about it on the way down that it's actually been a 30-year journey. I've been an entrepreneur. My mom says since I was about 9. I was always.
It's in your blood, right?
I was always into business and comfortable speaking to people. So I've been building businesses for many years, and then about 8-9 years ago, I started an online business. It was a label business.
A label business.
Label is
okay.
camps, daycares, nursing homes.
Okay.
And I did it. I wanted to just build a business. I wanted to get into consulting. I thought at the time I wanted to get into consulting. And I'd spoken with a mentor, and he said, you could go back to school. I was like, that's not for me. You can go work for somebody. That's not for me. Or you could build your own business and just prove through your own business. So I had set a goal to...
But was this supposed to be a step towards being a consultant?
The internet business was.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I'd just always been... I'd get a business idea, and I would just run with it.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started this label business. I said, okay, I'm going to take it from nothing to 100,000 in sales in 3 years. And I did that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I don't want to do anything with the business anymore because I'm this out-of-the-box entrepreneur. I like to implement. I like to innovate, but then I like to pass it on. So
you like the excitement of building.
I love the excitement, creativity, getting out of the box, seeing how things can work better.
Nice.
So then I started working towards getting into consulting. Got a few clients, but I found I had to do everything for them. And
so it's like babysitting?
Babysitting and very, for an entrepreneur, monotonous, repetitive tasks can drive you crazy.
Okay.
So I wasn't enjoying that. And probably in about 2008, a good friend of mine, Dave Gordon, he sent me a link to somebody's blog. They were a coach.
Okay.
Spent an hour.
Like a life coach?
Life coach.
Okay.
So I spent an hour on the phone with the coach. They told me what they were doing. They said, you can go check out a workshop presentation here. I said, nope, this sounds perfect. And I went to Adler International, which is a coaching school. And the rest is history. And I got into coaching from there.
Wow, it sounds like you follow your passion more than anything else.
I try to.
You know, it's interesting too because I mean, you mentioned that part of your how you arrived at this path was by talking to a mentor. I just think it's interesting that we, with our previous guests, they're talking about the importance of mentorship, and here you are, an example of that, and also that coaching, in a sense. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it is being a mentor in a sense.
Yes.
One of the things at coaching at its very pure level is one of the models that we were taught was it was called the IAC model. So it's helping the client get insight and awareness, and then they make choices and commitments, and then they have action and accountability.
Okay.
And it's very much just drawing out from the client. So the client is looking their life. Their challenge is an object on the table. They're looking at that object, and we're looking at their mind and helping them think through the process. Mm-hmm. With what I do, I evolved it a little bit, and I brought more of my business consulting background and my general desire and quest for knowledge. Like I always like learning new things, what works, what doesn't work, what cool tools are around there to help yourself in the tools. Because if you just have this blanket concept and focus on the thinking, you also need to help the client give them new tools and new strategies and new ideas how they can grow themselves. So
Rob, what's the difference between, we're talking a little bit off air, but what's the difference between a consultant and an entrepreneur, and coach? Right,
so very often a consultant will fly in there, he'll be dropped in there, and he'll say, this is what has to be done, this is what has to be done, this is what has to be done. He'll very often be very involved in the actual details and fixing.
Okay.
And then when he's done, he's off, he leaves. And then the client has to figure out how to maintain things going forward.
Okay, so that he doesn't have that support system?
Right, he doesn't have the same support.
Okay,
Whereas
they're a fix-it guy.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Whereas coaching more, and in the coaching that I do, I sit down with my client and I say, what do you want? What are your goals? What is your long-term vision? Create that picture, make it vivid, really feel it on a visceral level. This is what you're passionate about. And they say, okay, how do you want to do it?
So you help them to
I help
fix
them
themselves.
to figure it out and get clear. They become aware of where they're at because we're so busy. We're moving non-stop and we never stop to think.
Okay.
So
it's almost like it can remind me of our first interview today,
With
where
Donna?
it's almost like people, I think, often need somebody like a coach to kind of hold the mirror up to them, right? And have them figure it out themselves. But if they didn't have that mirror, they wouldn't be able to.
Right.
And it kind of reminds me of our conversation with Donna, where every writer, no matter how good they are, needs an editor. It's kind of the equivalent in the business world.
Right. And if
for
you
the
look
writing
at
world.
it, the best of the best,
Good point.
acting, sports,
Yes.
music, politics, wherever you
Real
look, they
estate
always
agents,
have,
even real estate agents
everyone
have
has a
coaches
coach.
now.
Everyone has a coach, and because you need that balance. I'm a very spiritual person, so I always like to find, when I'm doing something, I like to find reference in Jewish sources.
Right.
And there's a book called The Ethics of the Fathers, Pirkei Avos, and it says that you should make for yourself a rabbi and acquire for yourself a friend. Right? And one of the ideas is the rabbi is your spiritual guide. He gives you the wisdom, he shares with you the knowledge, but the friend is the person that bounces things off you. And it says acquire. You should even go as far as buying a friend, so to speak. Somebody that won't be your yes man. They'll challenge you and they'll push you and they'll make sure you're aligned. So really, when you have somebody, if you're fortunate enough to have that amazing friend, that's great. But if you don't have somebody that you can totally open up to and trust, a coach can really help you launch yourself forward.
So the coach would be more like the friend, not the rabbi.
Right.
Okay, okay. And so you offer that.
So I offer that aspect. I do as well. Like I said, I mix it up from the business side, but I'm always searching for wisdom as well. I'm thinking, I spend the time. Most people go through their lives. They can come to the end of their lives and realize they never stop to think. And I spend a lot of time in thought and reflection because I want to know where I'm going and what's working, what's not working. So those insight and experiences that I have, I can share that with clients as well.
So you seem to do that naturally?
I have to force myself, and I need my coaches to push me as well.
Oh, so you have coaches?
Of course, of course.
Okay, so that's a really good point. It's like you have to answer to a coach as well.
Yeah, I got to walk my talk.
Good for you. Good for you. So this entrepreneur,
the workshop.
Yeah, you're doing an entrepreneur workshop, correct?
Right. August 2nd.
So what I want to ask was, it seems like you are a natural entrepreneur.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is this a nature or a nurture, or can it be both? Or what would
I definitely think it's in my blood.
Okay.
It's by nature I'm an entrepreneur, but to be successful at it, you have to nurture it.
Okay. But what if somebody is not by nature?
Yeah, because we were talking earlier, I think before you got here today, about how a lot of people are, there's probably more entrepreneurs than ever, right?
Out of necessity, though.
I made the comment that a lot of them are kind of being forced into it because maybe the job opportunities aren't there, right? Yeah. And so, have you given that any thought about?
Definitely.
And should
should everybody? So there's a lot of. When I was actually speaking with somebody recently, and they were talking about all these tests people take, like in business, these assessments to figure out if you're the right fit.
Aptitudes and things like that, and skills.
And it really sort of pegs people. It says you're not an entrepreneur, you're this, you're that.
Was that like the Enneagram and some of those other personality things?
Okay.
So there's one that I like, it's called the Kolbe Index.
Okay.
It's a Kolbe A Index, Kolbe.com. And it tells you your modus operandi, how you function.
Is this like a free thing anybody can do?
No, it's about $50 to take the test. It takes about 10 minutes. In my courses that I've given, I've challenged the students. I say, take the test. If you don't value the results, I'll pay for it. And everybody comes back and says, that was great. It's dead on. And what it does is it shows you how you function. It doesn't talk about your weaknesses and your strengths, but just who you are as a person. Since the day you were born, this is sort of your nature, which I like a lot because then it shows you how to channel yourself. So for myself, I'm this out-of-the-box entrepreneur. I can't focus on things for sometimes more than a day. I get the idea, I envision it, I write it out, and I'm like, okay, I want somebody else to take it on. I put it in my folder. So what
Sounds like an ADD problem to me.
They say many entrepreneurs are. That's one of the elements.
There you
they have
go.
this
See?
tag of ADD.
Wow, isn't that interesting?
But what I do is I find people that complement me. So I know what my modus operandi is. So I've created partnerships with people, and I say, listen, I'm out of the box. I can fix things. I can see the big picture, but I can't do the day-to-day tasks. It's just impossible. So let's team up and utilize our strengths together.
Yes.
So somebody that wants to be an entrepreneur just should be honest with themselves and know themselves and say, okay, where are my strengths? And let me channel my strengths fully. And then wherever I'm weak, I don't want to try to perfect a weakness that will always stay a weakness. I want to stay in my greatness, and I'll find somebody else who has those greatnesses, and my strengths are their weakness, and we'll partner together. And it's much more enjoyable too. Sitting in my business for many years, I was literally alone in my basement. I built my label business in my basement, The Wonders of Modern Technology. But I was going insane because I love interacting with people. Right. So I had to, when I recognized that, it was a very big shift in how I design my businesses and how I interact with people and how I grow myself as an entrepreneur now.
Wow, okay. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, so the talk on August 2nd, is there a specific focus to it?
So it is. It's called Creating Your Success Blueprint.
Creating Your Success Blueprint.
And
that's an interesting name.
And the idea is that when you build a house, for example, right? Whatever you build a plane, whatever you're doing, especially in those things, you build a house. You've never decided to build a house and have Home Depot dump just random materials, right? Just here's some wood, here's some nails.
Go to it.
Tell the workers, go to it, right? The first thing you ask is, where's your plan?
Yes.
Right? And usually people have spent months, if not years, designing what this structure is going to look like. But very few people take the time to do that with their lives. Right? We reach a point where we get so busy and we turn ourselves off. There's so much technology. I was reading today, the average person wastes 2 hours a day at work, which means out of a year, you waste a month a year just doing nothing. You spend another 3-4 hours a day on the TV. It means out of a year, you spend 3 months a year just wasting your time and not thinking and not stopping. And we're just in this go, go, go cycle. So what I challenge my clients is I say, do you think you could set aside 0.1% of your year? Right? I say 0.1%. Do you think you could handle it? Sure, no problem. It's 3 hours. Right? 3 hours. Stop the world for 3 hours. Go away where nobody can disturb you. Turn off your
communication
iPhone,
devices.
all communication, and think. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Right? And this is what part of this course that I'm doing is I want people to stop and think and say, where are you with your life? Have you achieved what you've dreamed of? Or are you just running on autopilot? Because time isn't waiting for you. It's just flying by 20, 30, 40, 80, 90, and you're gone. And you might have never lived your dream. So stop for 3 hours. And really, I think if you want to get the most out of it, you should take about 18 to 24 hours. Over the course of a week, just go and sit in front of a lake in nature and think, what do you want 5-year goals? What's your 5-year goals? What do you want? And what I go through is a process, 7 life areas, covering areas like what your business should look like, what your fun time should look like, family, relationships, your contribution, your spirituality, what impact you want to make on the world, what do you want to do just for yourself.
So this is holistic in nature.
It's covering.
It's not just business.
It's not just business because very often what happens is you get into the flavor of the day. I had a client that approached me and said, I want to do some of this internet marketing, the YouTube and all this thing. And I said to him, from what I know of you, it's not your style. That you're not passionate about it. Why are you getting into it? Oh, well, because everybody's in. So I sent him back to his goal setting and said, does this fit in with your picture? If it does, great. We'll work on character traits. We'll help you develop certain aspects of your personality so you can make videos. But if it doesn't, just stop right away. Because don't get caught up by the currents.
Right.
Channel your own gifts. Find out what you're passionate about.
The passion, and so that's what you mentioned. The passion that you obviously have, Rob.
So did they do it?
So they did, and we haven't actually gotten together. They spent about 6 hours. The person spent about 6 hours, and we're going to be meeting to find out what insights are around there.
Wow, isn't that interesting? Now, how is that exciting for you when you actually get to have that meeting once they've done that soul searching kind of stuff? And are you ever surprised?
Definitely, because very often the client is surprised. And one of the things that I ask them to do is I ask them to write it in present tense. As if the 5 years have already passed and what they've accomplished. And because it creates a different shift. When you're right, oh, I want to make $100,000. I want to build a big business. Right? It doesn't connect you with your emotion.
So instead, I've made $100,000 and I've built a big.
This is the life I've created. This is the relationships I have. Yeah. And what happens is when you're able to bring emotion and visualization, we don't think in words. We think in images and feelings. It creates a whole shift in an energy, and that's that aspect of the law of attraction.
Yeah.
When you create enough energy, it draws things to you because now your mind is working. It's on the radar. So one of the things I do is I have them read it to me in that present tense, and I look for their energy.
I can imagine that for some people, it's not so easy even because it's like they're reading in the present tense, and it's just like there's probably a disconnect that they have to wrap their
and that comes from the repetition and encouraging yourself to be a little bit silly. Like very often, oh, I can't do this mantra every day and this affirmation every day. But when you start to do it, your mind doesn't know. If you can visualize something with intense emotion and visualization, your mind considers it as if you did it. Right? That's why you have people that have become chess masters and talented golf players while being in prisoner of war camps, right? Because in order not to go crazy, they played over and over again in their mind. And when they came out, suddenly they knew how to play a sport because their body shifted and their muscles thought they were doing it. So when you can have that intense emotion and visualization with it, your body thinks it's real. And in the beginning, it is awkward. But then when you start seeing things happen and your life starts to shift, then you become a believer.
Now, how much is discipline a factor in all of this?
So very much in life, discipline and creating structure. I did a video recently, and I said, if you want your life to be more spontaneous, you have to be structured. Right?
Oh, interesting.
Because so often, what do people do? Sunday comes, Saturday, what are you doing tomorrow? And they'll say, oh, we'll wait to see what happens. Like, I don't want to plan anything because something exciting might happen in my life. Right? The greatest opportunity will come tomorrow, and you blow your Sunday. Sunday after Sunday, life just sort of passes away.
Pass you by.
So you have to plan it. You have to structure it into your life, and you have to be disciplined about it. And that's actually very funny because you were saying sometimes it's hard to get that shift. One of the areas that I've started focusing on more now is for myself is fun. I just turned 39 yesterday, and I'm noticing
1 year left, Rob.
1 year.
Wait a second. But, okay, so you're born on the day that Nelson Mandela. That's amazing company.
So yeah, right. I remember. Right, and I mentioned. I remember we have similar birthdays, and I was thinking about the fun aspect, like that childish and reconnecting to my inner child. And
isn't that amazing? You have to work at thinking of the fun aspect. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But that's just so.
Definitely.
It blows my mind.
Right, and
that's our nature, and yet we have to get back to that.
We lose it. We come in this creative, resourceful whole. Like we have no fears as children.
Yes.
Right? What do we fear? We fear falling, and we fear loud noises. Right? So really at our base level, we like serenity, and we like to be moving forward. We like to be moving up and forward, not falling back and
taking risks.
Right.
Or taking risks, right? Kids take risks all the time. They jump off, they hurt themselves, they do it again.
Exactly. So we can lose that childlike aspect. Yeah. So it's been a big focus of mine of recent.
Wow.
And I'll set up things like having water balloon fights with my wife and my kids, and we'll just get a little bit more crazy and inventive, and now we're pushing ourselves because we realize we want to have family fun time and these quality times. So we recognize we have to discipline ourselves around it.
So you have to be disciplined to have fun.
Well, it's kind of like budgeting, right? You just budget so that part of that budget of time, energy, money, whatever goes into your fun budget.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So August 2nd. Now I'm not sure what day of the week that is, but
it's a Thursday.
A Thursday. So how long is this?
It's going to be a 2-hour workshop.
Okay.
The first hour and a half is going to be the workshop aspect of it, and we're going to be focusing on the goal setting in those 7 areas, just sort of giving people a taste of what it is.
What are the 7 areas again?
So so we focus on finances, business, what you want your business to look like, health and fitness, health and well-being.
That's really important, and we overlook that one.
Right, definitely, and it's where you get your vitality to function.
Yeah.
And as well, fun time.
Yeah. I know it's tough.
Right.
I know it's tough.
Business?
But it's interesting. It's like these are all the categories you need to budget for, right? And maybe I can ask you after. We'll talk after. It was just curious about what those areas are.
Sure, no
but it
problem.
sounds like they encompass all areas of life, right?
That's the idea. And I'll go through the last four. So there's fun time, there's relationships.
Okay.
But what are the relationships that really matter and are important to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Personal time. Right?
Mm.
We sometimes forget to be selfish about our own needs. Maybe you want to read a book and you love reading books from beginning to end in one shot,
And
but you never do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for your personal time, you have to set that and say, once a month, I'm grabbing my book, I'm going off to the beach, the forest for the
Nobody
day.
bug me.
Nobody bug me.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's personal time, and then contribution. Right? What are you
I
giving
think
back?
that's 7.
Mentoring, helping others. And then the last one is spirituality.
So that's 8.
That's 8 in total, right?
Okay.
So and just as a caveat, there's a great book if people want to read it. It's called The Power of Focus. I just blanked on the author's name, but he has those 7 elements. He goes through them. I added the spirituality because I think spirituality should encompass everything.
So you based your program on this book?
From everything. I just read different things and I put them together. So, so we're going to go through the goal setting, and then we're going to start to create some action plans around it. And also discuss accountability and how to not drop the ball. And then the last element is sort of, I guess, the bonus element is a little bit about habit forming, because very often we develop such bad habits, and then we try to break the habits by fighting against the habit, which only reinforces it. I'm not going to smoke. I'm not going to smoke. I'm not going to smoke. New neural pathway. Smoke. Smoke. Smoke.
Yes,
right?
that's the law of
It's so hard to
attraction
stop.
thing again.
Exactly. So one of the things I've started doing with my clients is I've shown them by awareness and micro shifts, they can really change their lives. So for example, a client, and again, this goes back to a spiritual principle. There was a teacher, Rebbe Nachman of Breslov, and he had a principle of, if you focus on the good point in a person, at that point there's no bad point. When you're right inside that point, there's no bad point.
Right.
So, and it's just little things, looking for little things, even within yourself. Oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. But if you focus on the little point, at that point you're perfect. So what I encourage clients to do is I start having them become aware of what they want to work on. So say, for example, if they want to have more self-confidence. So I ask them to every day notice one area, however small it is, that they were confident, or if they couldn't find it, they took a confident action, right? So, or caring. So maybe it's as small in the beginning, they want to show more caring to their family, but the first day they showed caring to a houseplant, right? But at that, it's just a little thing. But what happens is over 30 days of those cumulative little steps, each day more and more, the person is constantly putting out their radar for the positive action they want to develop. So it no longer becomes this big overwhelming thing, and it's amazing to watch within a 30, 45 day period, this amazing transformation in a person. They don't even recognize the shift because it's so subtle. So
now, one of the biggest things, were you going to say something?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, one of the biggest things that I would imagine you would get in terms of challenges is procrastination. Like, that's got to be the biggest thing. People, you know, they cram the very day before for the exam, or when there's a deadline in a project, the presentation. Do you deal with that at all? Do people say that to you at all?
Definitely, and that's where the power of goal setting, when you have on your radar what you want to accomplish in your life, and every day, and it takes, once you've done this activity, it takes about 2 minutes to read your 5-year vision. So because your mind is so focused on that, you start getting hit by things, by awareness. You know, you're about to sit down in front of the TV for 2-3 hours and zone out, but then you realize, I don't want to zone out of my life. I'm about to create the most amazing life for myself. My 5-year vision is just, wow, out of this world. How can I sit and watch TV now and phase out? So that's one trick that does it. And the other is by having a set plan. When you know what you're going to do and you plan in your life, right? You're not waiting for your life to happen. I think the saying is, if you fail to plan, plan to fail. Right? If you make that plan and you have a coach keeping you accountable, that's checking in with you and saying, did you do what you're going to do, right? And how are you going to hold yourself accountable? What's the consequence that you're giving to yourself? Are you letting yourself down? It's so much easier to break through that wall. And once you've created that habit, then you're sailing forward.
You know, it seems, Rob, that, you know, there's no doubt there's a lot of people out there. First of all, a lot of people, whether it's their idea or not, but are getting into entrepreneurship. And I really like that idea. I agree with it 100%. You know, when you get excited about it, right, then you will be excited about working on it rather than zoning out like that, you know? So it sounds like that this
and you can't help but get excited off of you. Just
yeah. So somebody that's, you know, maybe in that malaise right now, or maybe they're already an entrepreneur embarking on it, and they need to get excited about it, and they need to have, as you say, that blueprint,
or just more structure in their life as a first step. Forget about even maybe the entrepreneurship, just getting their life together. And becoming...
it sounds like entrepreneurship is part of the whole life plan.
Yeah, good point. It's a lifestyle, right? It's a lifestyle.
Now, where's the talk? Where is it going to be?
It's going to be at the Bathurst Clark Library in Thornhill.
Okay.
And that's, I don't know the exact address offhand. The corner of Bathurst and Clark.
Okay.
Just near the promenade.
Okay.
So.
All right. So
it's going to be 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
7 to 9. And is there, I assume you have a website or something where they can get info?
If you go to my website, robmoshe.com, ROBMOSHE.com, in the top right-hand corner, there's a link for the Eventbrite registration there, and we have we set up for 35 spots. There's about 25 spots left.
Okay. Is there a charge for it?
It's not. It's free.
It's free.
Okay.
Free. And that's part of really my when I started getting into the coaching, this past model that I've been working on for the past year and a half, it was to help people in the community, and I've been evolving a little bit, and one of the things I've noticed is when you want to grow a business, I'm an entrepreneur, so I like to, one of the measures, it's like Monopoly, when you have all the money at the end, you've won the game, right? So I like to succeed and I like to make money because it says, oh, I've built a successful business. But there's a little bit of a disconnect where it's helping people and making money, right? When you're coaching business coaches, you really want to work with CEOs, right? I can help a CEO and I can grow his company and we can really see results, and that's the person, those are primarily my clients. But I want to help other people to show them that it's possible that they can get on their path. So I've teamed up with Dave Gordon, has been working with me, my good friend Dave Gordon, and we've been setting up these events so people can come for free and get some momentum and maybe find a coach, whether it's with me or another coach, but they can start on that path and see that there is an opportunity that they can hit the pause button and move forward, creating a whole new life and create that success blueprint, that vision that they want for themselves.
Fabulous.
And that's point number 7, because your contribution is 1. Yeah.
So people can get started August 2nd, right? And and they can sign up on the website, robmoshe.com.
robmoshe.com.
All right, Rob.
Thank you
for your
work.
It's been great to have you here.
Amazing.
Great to meet you.
Thank you for your energy.
You got to come back sometime and let us when the next thing is
wait a second,
happening.
your YouTube channel.
YouTube channel, so it's Elite Business Coach.
Elite? E-L-I-T-E.
Business Coach.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Rob. Thanks for doing this.
You do a lot of them.
Okay, Sandra, that's it. Show's over.
Wow. Happy new moon, everybody.
Happy new moon. You know, it was her birthday today.
Yeah.
So you guys are like almost
but
astrological.
I'm like 9 years older than you.
Okay, anyway, that's it for the show. So we're going to say bye. And thanks everybody here at That Channel for making this a great show. And
thank you. Thank you to the crew. Thank you guys.
And we'll be back tomorrow for more Liquid Lunch.
Yeah.
Right here on ThatChannel.com. See you then.
Sure you tell your story. You know you'll make it someday. other, yeah. Positive thinking makes a change, a change. Together we make a stand, we don't place no blame. We'll go down in history, making sure we see